Well, welcome back, my friends, to the show that never ends. Welcome to my look at the week, what's been going on. As you can see, lockdown has been restricted, so we're let out and it's been sunny, as you can tell by my hooter and my face. Always I'm bumping into a bloke. Look at me, I'm like a tomato. So I'm like a tomato. Well, I don't know what to talk about this week because I'm so fed up with various. It's very difficult for a grumpy old man and the menopausal women to live together. That's all I'm going to say. I'll leave it at that. So, Andrew Marr today. Did you see that this morning? Yeah, I turned on, you've got some bird on there with sort of long hair who's some shadow spokesperson for the Labour Party. And he said, well, the who, and they're the ken, then who the who. No, he was talking about whether you send the kids back to school, whether it's safe. And she said, well, we want to see the government, we want to do... You're just fucking moaning for the sake of it. And he said, the rest of the world is saying, and all the scientists throughout the world, there's not one child caught coronavirus in school, or one child been reported of it in school. And so, what do you say to them? Well, I just say we need to... Why don't you fucking get a life? Apparently, before she was MP, she worked in a care home. God bless her, but that doesn't make her a fucking expert, does it? They just moan for the sake of it. And then Govey come on and put us all in the picture. But it is driving me mad. And it seems we're just concentrating on this. I have two friends with cancer. My nephew's not well. My brother Bill, when he sobers up, he's got to be patched up from bouncing in off walls and falling over in pubs for 40 years. He needs to get in hospital without catching any convict fucking bugs. But he does talk a lot of sense, Michael. I know Michael. He's got a brain as big as a transit van. I mean, he really is a clever bloke. Could you imagine what would happen if Corbyn and Diane Abbott and that firm were all trying to run this? It'd be a nightmare. Oh, did you see Corbyn's brother? His name's Piers. As if we ain't got enough problem with Piers's. There's another one. Piers Corbyn. Who fucking put that name together? Piers Corbyn. And he looks just like him. He looks like the other steptoe's bollock. There's the pair of bollocks there. And he's with all these morons saying there's no such thing as Conrody virus. We want freedom. Walking around, mad people, with all the police there. Thousands of police trying to stop these contestants or protesters trying to kill one another. In the meantime, footballers' houses are getting broken into by these thugs, nicking thousands of pounds worth of watches. Why does a footballer, right, normally a striker, right, they got to have 80,000 watches, haven't they? They got to have at least, it's got to cost, that's over 100 grand, that innit, you know what I mean? That's my watch, innit, that's my watch. And this is an old watch. This is an old... what do they call this? A Cartier. It's an American tank Cartier. I've had it donkey's years. So, but would I don't know much. I cut around. If you had like walking along with a chunk of gold and diamonds on it like that, you're just asking for a bad guy to slice your arm off. You wouldn't wear it in Africa or anywhere like that because your arm would come off. At least these people have the decency to break in your house and frighten you to death first. Here's what you do, you rich footballers. Listen to me. Sign for Charlton, and then go to Dubai and buy some Jekyll watches. There's a man, come this way please, come. I have got a lovely watch for you. He's a Welsh Arab, and you can buy one of these for about a tenner. So you put it in your safe, get a few of them, put it in the safe, put about 500 quid in there, then if the burglar comes in like that, where's all the gear in it? So here, please don't, whatever. Anyway, so you say it's in there. So they open the safe, there it is, they take it and bugger off without beating anybody up. That's it. You didn't see me, did you? Otherwise I'll shoot you. No. Before you go, I think the wife got a glimpse of you. This is the now what do you do if a burglar gets in your house? Do you want my advice? There's a chance a burglar could kill you in a struggle. Or you could have a frigging heart attack and drop dead through fear. So, be prepared for burglars. Don't leave stuff lying around. Don't leave your windows open. If one gets in, kill him. With whatever means you can. A skillet's quite good. What do they call that? A skillet. That's it. Or a machine gun. Anything you want. But don't phone the police and say, I've just killed a burglar. It's a real stupid thing to do. Just bury the motherfucker. Get him down the back of the garden and put him in. You know? Burglars don't tell people where they're going burgling, do they? You know, down the pub. You seen Harry the Dip? No, I think he's gone deep. Yes, he's gone deep. 6 feet deep. Put him there. Your daffodils will all come up nice. And if you sell the house and move away and someone comes and digs it up to put a garage or something there and they find his remains, just say you bought some topsoil off Fred West. That's it. Better to be tried by 12 than carried by 6. That's what I say. Protect your home. An Englishman's home is his castle. This is what we've got to do. Bloody good, Boris. Right, here. Do you know what happened this week, years ago? It is, I think, 77 years ago yesterday that Guy Gibson, 24 years of age, with a dog, black Labrador dog, that was, they've changed his name now because of political correctness. Snowy, I think his name is now. The dog, they've changed history to sort out. Anyway, he led off, I think it was 19 Lancasters to do the Dam Busters. You know the Barnes Wallis funny bomb? Yeah, and it was a complete success, so to speak. But 53 guys killed, I believe. 3 captured. Did it do that much damage, really? Did the German war machine stop? No, I don't think it did. But it gave the country a lift. It gave it a fantastic lift. It's like when we were down in the Falkland Islands. Did we really need to recapture South Georgia and send those other ships all out the way? And it was a real touch and go thing getting South Georgia, and it wasn't strategically important, but it gave the country a lift. I'll never remember, will I? I'll never forget, Mad Cow. Margaret Thatcher stood at Downing Street with John Knott, who was the Defence Secretary, and he said, I received this telegram from the commander of the task force. Please inform Her Majesty that the White Ensign flies alongside the Union Jack in South Georgia. God save the Queen. Wow, fantastic, wasn't it? You were first away win, and in we went. I mean, if you look at that Dam Busters raid, it was the planning and the sheer ability to be able to do it, to tell the British people this is what we can do. It was like the Black Buck raids down in the Falklands, the Vulcan bombers, really old bits of kit. They took 11 planes to refuel one to get 1 bomb on there. They dropped 21 bombs, but the RAF, they frigging missed. Blew all the chip chops up in Port Stanley High Street. Argentinians went back in there. Right. So, but it was all the refueling to go down there, turning back, refueling, 1 plane refuels 1 plane, 1 plane refuels 1 plane, and we did it. And what did they do? The Argentinians went out and filled the hole in. But it proved that we could do it. So they all shit themselves up in Buenos Aires, moved some of their... Anyway, I won't go into it. Who knows? I'm not going to go on Who Wants to Be a Millionaire. And I think the Falklands War was... Thank you. 1982. Yeah, I've got a coffer over there in case I need to win £1 million. So, there's all that going on. What's in the news today? If you're in Derbyshire, you must help the local police up there, because the local police have put out a wanted thing. They want someone. Will the public help them find this person? This person was a lorry driver, and he had this low bridge above him, and he didn't know whether he had clearance. And an old woman, a woman of 70 years of age, stood and helped him. Come on, you're all right. And he got out and he gave her a kiss on the cheek and drove off. And they're looking for him for sexual assault. Well, fuck me. You can't do that either, because that definitely is sexual assault. So, are the kids going to go back to school? Well, I never wanted... This would have been fantastic for me when I was at school. We never went at all. Any excuse not to go to school would have sorted me. I remember Bobby McGlone. He was so sharp and so quick. We had the teacher, the head teacher, the assistant head, Mr. Craddy. He'd get up like that after assembly. Step 1 was, before you go, I want to see so-and-so in my office. You knew he was going to get the cane. And he said, I just want to warn everybody that there's an infection going around the school. And if anybody gets it, they've got to leave their class straight away and go to see Sister. Sister was the funny nurse thing, but it was 3 blocks away in another school, past 3 fag shops. And he said, the disease is called conjunctivitis, and it affects your eyes. Well, within seconds, I saw Bobby McGlone rubbing his eyes like this. So they all swelled up. Sir, I think I've got it already. Off you go. He went and got us all our fags for the afternoon. It was brilliant. Any excuse not to go to school. But all the politicians, Mr. Blunkett, Lord Blunkett, now he's saying the kids will be fine to go to school. Safest place for them. We'd have booed him when we was kids. I know Blunkett quite well. I bump into him a bit. He's a good bloke. And I'll tell you a story. I'll leave you with this story to get you to your drinks and your bit of dinner tonight. A couple of wives ago, one wife ago, I lived in Ewhurst in Surrey, and I was in between driving licences, of course. So I had an office in London doing the PA system and production and that. I used to get the train from Waterloo down to Guildford, and it was a semi-fast train to Portsmouth, and it stopped at Woking, Guildford, Portsmouth. That's it. It was very quick, first class, because I'm Tory scumbag toff, right? In the old days, you'd walk along these corridors, that lovely old corridor with the compartments like that, with a seat there and a seat there, and a lot of them were full. One was empty apart from one bloke and a dog, and it was a big Alsatian dog. And I don't like big dogs because their knob comes out, doesn't it? I hate that. You hate that when the big red willy comes out, especially if it's bigger than your own. There's nothing worse with it. Brian Shaw, my old agent, had a dog like that, and I sat there once, and gory like this come out. It was like a pink anaconda coming out of it. And he started licking it, and I only said, I wish I could do that. And he said, well, give it a biscuit, he might let you. The taste in my mouth was all... Anyway, so, I've noticed this bloke is Mr. Blunkett. He was in the Labour Party. Margaret Thatcher was just about to be thrown out the Conservative leadership for some god-known reason. So I walked in and crept over the dog and I sat down. And he is reading Braille in his briefcase and talking into a dictaphone. And in the old days, blind people used to wear dark glasses all the time. Now they're sort of born again blind. They're not, no shame in it really. So one was doing a bit of this. I thought, oh, Christ, it's that old pilot. But anyway, it was Mr. Blunkett. And he's talking to a dictaphone. You know them things? Can I use your dictaphone? No, use your finger like anybody else. And hello, and I've got to go down and speak to the... And he's winding it back, and I was fascinated. And then I thought, poor bugger, he is blind, and he looked. And then he looked. I didn't know if he was blind. I thought he was just shit at reading the autocue. And then then he looked out the window. And then he looked right at me. Well, one did. The other one was going off. And I thought, shall I speak to him? Does he know I'm here? How awful to be blind and not know there's someone sitting opposite you. If I'd have said, hello, oh, the dog would have bit me nuts off. Catastrophe. So now I'm panicking. And I'm like this. I can hear my heartbeat. I don't want to disturb this poor man. And suddenly, it gets worse now. A bloke opened the doors, stuck his head in and went, Jesus Christ, 2 famous people in one carriage. And then shut the door and buggered off. Now, Mr. Blunkett is now doing this, looking round to see who the other famous person is. Well, it's me. And I said, oh, I tried to glide it in. Hello, Mr. Blunkett. So he didn't jump. I said, I'm the other famous person. It's Jim Davidson. Oh. That's it. Oh. And I said, and then he looked right at me again, thinking he wants me to carry on. So I said, where are you off to then? I'm going down to Fleet in Hampshire to speak for the Labour Party. And I wanted to say, well, that won't take long. You get the Labour Party in a fucking phone box in Hampshire. But I didn't like to say that because he was blind and, you know what I mean. And I said, where do you get off then? He said, I get off at Aldershot. Uh-oh. Where? He said, I get off at Aldershot and then a car picks me up and takes me... The train don't stop there. The train stops at Woking, Guildford, where I get off, and then Portsmouth. He's not. He said, yeah, a car picks me up. I said, you fucking ain't. And I thought, I can't tell him. Anyone who knows me knows I'm terrible for confrontation. I went like that, heart beating. I can't tell someone they got a bogey on their lip, their flies are undone, or their breath smells, or there's a button out. I can't do it. I run off. And now I've got to tell this poor blind man he's on the wrong train. His life is fucked up. I'm perfect and everything. You know what I did? I'm ashamed to say. I sneaked out and left him. I can't over the dog, holding me nuts like this. Got to the door, and he started to speak to where he thought I still was. I can't fucking leave him talking to no one. So I sneaked back. And I was trying to coax him into realising he's on the culprit, the dog, that is asleep. He could have, as long as his master's sitting somewhere and it's going, he could be on the space shuttle for all this dog cares. Fucking good guide dog that was. And so I thought, I can't tell him. And then I heard an angel. Tickets, please. Oh, thank God for that. He'll tell him. So the man come in and went, hello, Jim. Can I see your tickets, please? Oh, I'm right glad to see you. So I got my ticket out and he said, this train don't stop at Guildford. I was on the wrong train. I had to get off at Aldershot with Mr. Blunkett. who then asked me if I wanted a lift in his car. And I said, not if you're driving it. It's absolute truthful story. And I love him. I think it's when politicians and opposition politicians had some sense. They were fantastic. God bless David Blunkett. You never thought you'd hear me say that about a Labour politician, would you? Well, it's him and a few others that I quite like. Anyway, let's let the politicians deal with it. I'm glad we're releasing. We'll all have to be careful, but we've got to try and get our country back. It's no good, getting the cure and then dying of the cure. We've got to get our country back and up and running as soon as possible. Stay safe. Imagine you've got it. Don't give it to someone else. Imagine they've got it. Don't let them give it to you. Jim Davidson, OBE. I'll see you on Wednesday.